Hi, my name is Corinne and I'm currently working on my romantasy debut novel that is a part of a trilogy while also trying to create the life that I want to live, and I hope that you'll come on this journey with me. There will be love, war, there is deception. From here on out, I just gotta be me. You guys, this is crazy. Welcome to this week's vlog. I'm doing something different this week. I decided to do a writing in my life vlog. So you're gonna see what it looks like while I'm trying to write this book while also working during the week. So I will be filming my work days and hopefully also this weekend as well. And the video is actually starting on today, which is Tuesday, May 13th at 6:21 p.m. I was supposed to start this vlog yesterday, but my day actually ran pretty late, and so we're doing it today. And for today's video, it is going to be more of a talking video, and depending on how long I talk for, we may do some writing tonight, but if it gets too late, we'll get into that tomorrow. But today I did have to clock into work at 7:30, and I got off at 4. I do work from home, but today we did have a in-office meeting that I had to attend. So I got off at 4 and got home around 5 o'clock. And now it is 6:21 and I'm sitting down to film this video. And so the reasoning why today's video is gonna be a little bit more of me just talking, because guys, I think I have some things I have to get off my chest and we need to reset. So this is my, I believe, 4th YouTube video. And I know that my past videos were kind of chaotic, and I think I was kind of confused on what I really wanted to show on this channel. And it turned out that the last couple of videos, there wasn't much writing at all. And honestly, hasn't really been much writing in general. So I was like, something needs to change. And I realized that when I started this channel, even though it's still very new, like I said, this is only my 4th video, but I'm already realizing that I'm not really sticking true to the message or what I am wanting to put out on YouTube. And so basically what I want to do with this video is just reset and get back to what I really want to show, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully, as we go through this video, this will start to make a little bit more sense for you. But before we get into that, since it has been about 3 weeks since I posted, I do just want to share what's been going on in my life and why I'm just not posting. So basically what happened was every spring, I do a deep clean of my whole house, and it's a lot to clean with just 2 people, me and my husband. And so I did take a whole week, ended up being like a week and a half of me just deep cleaning, which means cleaning baseboards, cleaning the walls down, doing all that jazz. So I was deep cleaning my home and then decided that I was tired after all that cleaning. So I decided to take some additional time off from filming so that I could relax and kind of get my thoughts together and figure out what kind of videos I wanted to put out and kind of plan that. And within those 3 weeks, I didn't really do any writing within those 3 weeks, but I did try to do some fun stuff in regards to my book. So I did put together finally a visual image of my inspo board for this book, which I did get it posted out to my Facebook and Instagram, which is at Everything Corinne. So you can check that out on my page if you would like. But I did complete a inspo board of a bunch of pictures that inspired this book series. And I also put together really cute character photos. So essentially, I just went into Canva, took the inspo photos that I got from Pinterest, added them in, and then put a couple of characteristics, and I'm going to put a cute little quote that I think my character would say, so that eventually I can share those. And that was actually pretty fun to put together. And I've also just been reading, which getting into reading, I do want to provide a book update. I told you guys that I was reading Throne of Glass, the second book in that series by Sarah J. Maas. I did already read Assassin's Blade. I read that in a month. I'm a slow reader, you guys. I cannot read multiple books in a month. I might be able to finish a book and possibly start another within the same month, but all in all, I'm only completing one book. But with the Throne of Glass book, I've been reading this since February. So we're in May now, so this is taking me a little bit longer. But that is only because I feel like it is really slow and I'm getting bored. But I'm also only on chapter 31. There's 55 chapters, I believe, total. So I'm getting closer to the end, but I'm hoping that it just picks up some more. But I also told you guys that I was reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart. That one I am only on chapter 4 just because that one is not my main reading, so I haven't gotten that far into it yet, but I think it's pretty good so far. Can't say much about that, but that's how my reading progress is going. And so since we did go ahead and get all that covered, I do just want to provide more details on my book. I don't feel like I really have talked about my book that much, and so I just want to do a deep dive. So here we go. I don't have a fancy blurb or nothing to explain what my book is. I'm just going to give you the information I have off the dome. So this is a romantasy book series. Right now it is a trilogy. If I could have made it into one book, I would have, but sadly that is not the case for this book. This is a book that I've had on my heart since grade school, and funny enough, I got the book idea from the Disney movie Sky High. I did watch it yesterday and realized it doesn't really relate at all to my story. Like, there's not a lot of similarities, but that's the fun thing about writing. Sometimes the most random thing will give you a great book idea, I guess. And so, but I do know that one of the aspects that I pulled from that movie that is actually in my book is that there was a girl in that movie, I think her name was Lola, that had her superpowers was like vines, nature? Yeah, like nature. And so because of that, that's how one of my main characters, May, was born. She has like the same nature type of superpowers. And so apparently that was enough to help me to create one character that formed the whole world that I created. And so in this romantasy, there's 4 main characters, and there is like a chosen trope. And so instead of it being one chosen one, there's 4. In the end, life itself will depend on one of them, and that won't really get exposed until the 3rd book. But anyway, so it is a chosen trope with 4 chosen women that were picked by the god in this book. I have stated this before that the religion aspect is a big aspect in the book itself, because I am a Christian and wanted to relate that into this book. So even though this is a fantasy book, I do still want there to be a message that is given in this book when you read it. I don't want this to be something that you read mindlessly and are done with it by the end. I want this to have an impact on the people that do read this book. And so there are some aspects or parts of this book that might be relatable to any of you, but one of the aspects is empowering women. And so in this book, the reason why the 4 main characters are women is because I do want other women to see the power that they have within themselves, and hope that these characters can bring that out of you. And so in this series, all 4 characters are going to go through some kind of individual development. And so with them growing and trying to find themselves, they're going to go through some trials that maybe we've all experienced in our life. Another aspect of this story, there is going to be a lot of adult situations. So the series that I'm writing, this is an adult fantasy, definitely not YA. I feel like there's going to be a lot of tough topics that are going to be brought up in this book series. So essentially in this first book that I'm writing, it is going to be a lot of setup and character development. Hopefully this is making sense, you guys, because I feel like I am rambling and I'm losing track of my thoughts, and I feel like I'm all over the place. And this is how writing looks during a work week, because the kind of job I have to use my brain all day. And so by the time I get to writing, my brain kind of wants to relax and shut down. And so with this series, there will be love, war, there is deception, there is just a lot, I feel like. But here's the thing, writing a book that I want to write, I'm not writing what's popular. So like the romantasy genre might be popular, but the things that I want to write in this kind of genre might not be. I'm just writing what I want to write because I'm someone that if I'm not having fun or if I'm not enjoying it, it's not going to get done. And so I just want to build a community of people that we can provide motivation to each other, and regardless at whatever stage you're at, any progress is good progress. And yeah, I just want to have fun. Oh my gosh, there's an important, I'm about to be all over the place, and because I forgot, I wanted to mention that for this fantasy book, I wanted it to resemble kind of like a kid's storybook. So like how the story starts, once upon a time, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I want this book to read. So even though there's going to be dark parts of this book and it's going to be very mature, I want it to read like it's a history book. I freaking hope that makes sense, because it's not making sense as I'm explaining it, but it makes sense in my head. So with that, for this first book, since I really just wanted mainly one character's voice to really be heard, anything outside of, I wanted to read like there's a narrator, so in third person. When I read books in third person, I really do not like it at all, and so I refuse to do that. I was like, all my books are just going to be in first person. But here's the thing about learning writing and trying to make your vision come to life. I want there to be a narrator. And I really think that's a freaking cool idea. Hopefully the additional information I provided helps you to understand my book a little bit more. If not, then you can definitely comment some questions of something that you want to know about the book, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them in a future video. So I do want to bring back what I was saying in the beginning of this video about me wanting to reset and kind of change how I'm doing my video. I realized that in my other videos, I was trying really hard to try to give advice, I guess, and tips. And I'm not on this platform to be a teacher. I'm just learning. I'm learning along with all the other beginners out there. And so the whole point of me creating this channel is so that I can show a realistic look at what it looks like to be a beginner writer, not really knowing much about the industry or how anything works. You just enjoy writing. And that is me. I don't really know anything about the book industry. I don't know the process to obtain publishing. I know that that's something that I'll learn down the road, but so really I'm just on this platform to videotape my journey, because I know that one day looking back, this is going to be very nostalgic, and I just want to be able to have these diaries to be proud of, you know, for future me to say, man, I did it. So that's what I want to show, is a realistic view of what it looks like to try to write a book when you don't know much about writing a book. And so I'm someone that, even though I don't have that knowledge, I've always loved writing. I did take creative writing classes when I was in high school. And so this is not something really new to me, but it's new. I also realized that I was trying to do the processes that I saw other author tubes doing, as in planning out their book, writing the outline, planning and plotting a lot before they started writing. And that's what I was trying to do when I started this channel. I was like, you know what, when I start, I'm just going to start from scratch. I'm going to show how I do all this planning before I get into writing. And I realized that is slowing me down. This is going on my second year of trying to write this book, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere just because I didn't take it seriously last year. And then I started taking it seriously this year. And because I was trying to do way more planning than I would, I feel like I've slowed myself down and haven't made any progress. So from here on out, I just gotta be me. So with all of that being said, in this week's writing vlog, I'm going to be writing my book. I'm tired of plotting everything. I'm tired of trying to figure out answers that I don't have, which would probably come if I wrote the book. So let's get into writing. I also want to thank my 10 subscribers that I have. Some that may be nothing compared to other creators, but I think it is very important to really just enjoy where I'm at right now. And honestly, the fact that I have 10 subscribers is good for me. But as our community continues to grow little by little, I am so grateful and thankful for the 10 of you that have decided to be a part of my journey. Your support really means the world to me. All right, so I do have my setup here. I have my lap table with my chapstick, because I keep that on hand, my headphones, my notebook where I have all of my book idea, well, most of them written out with some pens. I do also have my binder, which we went through, because like I said, I do have some chapters written out. So I'm actually going to get those pulled out to take a look at. I do also have my whiteout just in case I need to make any notes in my notebook. My water stays on hand. And I think that is it. So I have everything set up, so I'm going to go ahead and get to work. Hello everyone. It has been a day, basically 2 days, since I talked to you guys or provided any updates. So when I talked to you last, it was Tuesday and I was working on writing chapter 1. I did not get it finished that day. And then on Wednesday, I was going to do some more writing and check back in, but I forgot I had to work late and I did not get off work till 6. And I decided I wanted to go on a walk because I needed to be outside and let my brain have a break. So I took a walk, and by the time I got done with my walk, it was time for me to head to church for Bible study. So no writing got done that day because as soon as I got out of church, I also went out to eat. So I did not get home till basically 11 o'clock. Even though it's not really any different for today. Today is Thursday. I got off work at my normal time, 4:30. But when I decided that I was going to do a writing week in my life, I completely forgot that I have plans for today and tomorrow. So a family friend, her daughter is graduating from high school. She's basically my sister, like another sister to me. And so I am putting together a balloon arch for her graduation. So I went over to their house tonight to get a lot of it blown up and some of it set up, and then I have to go tomorrow to finish set it up for the party. And so I got home tonight at 9 o'clock. It is currently 10:24. So I think I am going to get some writing done. I don't have to get up super early in the morning, and I don't clock. Well, actually, I lied. I do have to get up early, but it'll be okay. I don't really want to go to bed right now, so I'm gonna get some writing done. For chapter 1, there's 3 scenes. And the first scene is one of my main characters, Winter. She's going on an adventure with her royal guard. And so I got that scene fully written out. And then the second scene is her getting ready for the ball that is happening that night. And the only reason why I wanted to put this scene in here is because I wanted the fashion aspect to be kind of like a big part in the story, and that just helps to really explain what she's wearing, to visualize, you know, because that's what I like. And when I read, I want to know what the characters are wearing. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I don't want to do that a ton in the book, but I know I want some scenes like that, so I'm adding that to chapter 1. And then the third scene is the ballroom scene. The whole reason why I put it in there was to bring in some of the traditions of the kingdom, but also because something really important happens in that ballroom scene. But that's why that's in there. So I'm going to see if I can finish chapter 1 because I'm in the middle of the get ready scene, so it shouldn't be too much more. We're gonna go ahead and get into writing. I have finished chapter 1. It's 11:10. It really didn't take that long, which I did not think that it would. I figured out how to find my word count. So let's see what chapter 1 is looking like. Not bad. So my word count for chapter 1 is 2,676 words. Honestly, not bad. But for the zero draft chapter 1, I am really happy with how it turned out and the word count for it, because honestly that was more than I expected it to be. And so I'm definitely probably going to call it a night, especially since I can't think straight right now. So we'll probably meet here again tomorrow night, hopefully, and we will work on chapter 2. Hello everyone, I am back. It is Friday night and it is currently 10:48 at night p.m. I am pretty tired, but I still have makeup on and still slightly dressed from the event that I just came from. And I knew that if I took off my makeup and everything and got ready for bed, that I would actually probably go to bed and not film anything. So here I am. Today has been a pretty busy day. I did work 8:30 to 2:30 today, and then after I got off work, I did have to go put up a balloon arch for a senior that's graduating, a family friend. So I did that, and afterwards, I got to enjoy the party. So the graduation party started at 6, hung out there, and literally left at like 10:15. Came home, got the son ready in bed. Husband is home. He's playing video games. So I get the room to myself. So we're going to try to get some writing in tonight. I know that when I talked to you guys yesterday, we had finished chapter 1. So now we are working on chapter 2. And in this chapter, it is the second day of the courting event. She's out supposed to be mingling, but instead she's reading a book because she really couldn't be bothered. And then, so that's scene 1. Is her in the courtyard reading her book and some interactions. Then she meets one of the side characters that's going to be a big part of the book. So she meets them in scene 1, chapter 2, and then scene 2 is she's going on another adventure. So far, those are the only 2 scenes for this chapter. And also, even though I did have my scenes written out for this one, I also have to go through my written out chapters because I know that this was something that I physically wrote out but didn't transfer it over to my iPad. So I'm gonna have to read through this also to see what parts I want to in and kind of organize that. Let's go ahead and get into writing this chapter because it is already gonna be a late night. So let's see how fast we can get through this. All right, I am back. I have finished my 1-hour session and I'm definitely gonna call this a night because I was dozing a little bit. Like my eyes were getting heavy and I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. It is currently 12:47. I was able to finish the first scene in chapter 2 and I started on the second scene. I have not gotten into the meat of the second scene, so I feel like there's gonna be quite a bit, not a ton, but a bit that needs to get added still to chapter 2. So that'll be the task for tomorrow, is finishing that and hopefully getting started on chapter 3. Now, let's see the word count so far. Okay, so in 1 hour, I managed to write 262 words. That was actually not bad. I don't know how much words people typically write in an hour. I feel like 962 words is quite a bit. So I think chapter 2, we will definitely be able to get over 2,000 words, possibly closer to 3. So far for the first book, we are at 3,638 words. So with this 0 draft, I don't know if the word count numbers seem a little low, especially for the first chapter, since it only had 2,676 words. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but with this 0 draft, I'm only writing out I know. And then in my next draft, which would be considered my first draft, it's a draft where I'll actually insert the parts that are missing, try to clean it up, and or take out what I think doesn't fit and try to get a better version. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm skipping and falling over my words because I am so tired. Like, I can fall asleep now and I need to take this makeup off and get some pajamas on. That is it for Friday night. So I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys, this is crazy. I don't know how the day got away from me, but it is the exact same time that it was last night when I started filming. It's 10:34 p.m. or sorry, 10:35 p.m. on Saturday, May 17th. And I'm just now sitting down to be able to film tonight. I thought I was gonna have most of the day today, but one thing after the other came up, lost track of time out shopping, a lot happened. So tonight I've decided that I'm just gonna stay up as long as I can writing. I have church in the morning, but since I slept in this morning, hopefully I'm good. But I'm thinking that 1 o'clock, 1:30 might be my max cutoff time, possibly 2, but we'll see how I'm feeling. I have my big light on because I need to stay awake, and I realized that the mood lighting kind of makes me drowsy and sleepy, and I just ate dinner. So I need to be awake. I need to be alert. So I have my big light on, and I have my Chick-fil-A dragon fruit frozen lemonade drink over here, of course, also with my water. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I think when I spoke to you guys yesterday, I was working on chapter 2, and I had finished with scene 1, and I was working on scene 2, which is her going on another little adventure, which I'm really excited to write because I think this is just a fun scene to write. Of course, it'll be fun right now to watch with the events that'll happen later. Maybe she shouldn't have gone on that little adventure, but all right, so we are going to go ahead and get into finishing scene 2, which then would just finish out chapter 2 altogether. So I should be able to knock that out here quick. I don't have it already pre-typed like I did with chapter 1, but I have it written out actually in here. So, all right, let's get into it. Not me already yawning. I feel like I need more pumped up music, like something to get me wanting to dance and party, because I feel like if I listen to my playlist that I have for this book, I'm going to want to fall asleep. I think I'm going to listen to actually my Billie Eilish album. She has some slow songs, but there's some quick paced songs in there too, because I feel like I need words. I need music with words. Last night I was listening to like this fantasy reading playlist that I found that I like to listen to. That one had no words, but I feel like tonight I need something with words. I need something to make me feel good. So since I think Billie Eilish that playlist might help still, and not, what I'm trying to say is it'll help me stay in the mind of my story, because I think that it'll still provide inspiration and what have you. So that's what I'm gonna listen to. You guys, I gotta check it. It is currently 12:05. It has been about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe, yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm still working on scene 2 of chapter 2. I'm not even close to done because they're just now going on their adventure. Mind you, there's not a lot happening before the adventure. And I am getting real distracted. For some reason, I'm not locking in. It's not that I'm distracted by the music. I'm distracted by the TV and my iPad. I probably need to mute my notifications because my text messages, Instagram, all that comes through my iPad. And so I'm responding to messages. And not just that, I all of a sudden got a wave of sleepiness, which I know is a lie, because if I stop filming and stop writing, I'm not going to sleep, clearly, because that's what happened last night. I thought I was going to sleep. No, I stayed up till 3 in the morning. Crazy. I am about to, I think, take a little 10-minute break, meditate and relax for a minute, get my thoughts together, and then try to get back into it. All right, I'm back. Took off the jewelry, put on a hoodie, and I feel good. I feel like I'm a little bit more awake now, and we're gonna see if that is fruitful for me. It is currently 12:20, so let's get into it. It is currently Sunday, May 18th, and it is 1:32 p.m. I did just get home from church, and I just wanted to do an update today. Today I will not be doing any writing. This is just going to be an update to just go over everything that I accomplished during this week. And let me say, clearly I did not get back on last night, but thankfully I did finish writing chapter 2. I was so tired that I ended up taking a break, took off all my makeup and everything, and then wrote chapter 2. And I got done at 2 in the morning. And once that was done, I laid in bed, and it was a wrap. So I just wanted to go over everything that we accomplished during this week. It was a busier week than what I would usually have because, again, when I decided to film this, I completely forgot about some of the events that I had this weekend. And so really, I think it was just 3 days. I'd say we had 3 days total of actual writing, but I might be wrong. I might look back at these and be wrong, but that's what I'm gonna say. So let's see. For chapter 1, I know that in that chapter we discussed there was 3 scenes that I had that chapter and ended up getting 2,676 words. Then for chapter 2, there's only 2 scenes, but I completed chapter 2 at 3,065 words. So way more than chapter 1. So that is really good because I thought it was going to be short because I didn't think that second adventure scene was going to be that long, but that's the amount of words I got for chapter 2. I really wanted to get started in planning chapter 3 yesterday, but seeing how everything went and how long it took me to finish chapter 2, that did not happen. So that's the update for the writing for this week. So this was a very fun week in my life. I will definitely do more of these, especially since it helped me to be more accountable with my writing. Now, I might still write today. It just depends on how I feel. I'm so exhausted, so I might honestly take a nap after I go grocery shopping. So if I do write, unfortunately, I will not be filming it, but I will provide any updates of what gets done in the next video. Just remember that any progress is good progress. If you feel like you're not where you want to be, you're moving at a slower pace, just keep going because eventually you'll have a completed project. That is it for this video. And so if you enjoyed our time together, please feel free to hit the like button and also comment on where you're at with your projects, or if you have any other projects outside of writing that you're working on. Share them. Let me know. I love learning what other people are getting into. And so, of course, I'm not just writing. I have a lot of other things I like to dabble in as well. So if you have anything like that, please feel free to share, comments. Also, share with any of your friends or family. And don't forget to subscribe to stick around. And until next time, peace.